Heather, it is so good to see you again today. And I was sort of looking forward to talking about myth number three, because I just feel like there's always this idea that by cutting, time out of the construction schedule, or, oftentimes reducing maybe the quality of the products that you're putting into the home is often going to save money. And, having worked in the customer experience and watching what happens out the warranty side, not just the hard costs of what you have to pay to get it back to where it needs to be, equal to or better than Tarion standard or above. It's the burn factor with, your team who is going through this onslaught of very frustrated or very, unsettled customers, but also, in an industry that's in the middle of a talent war right now and finding good quality talent. It's sometimes when you're building under that kind of, assumption that by cutting time out of the construction schedule or reducing product spec, that you're actually going to save money. You're not factoring in what some people refer to as these soft costs. And yes, they're hard to quantify for sure, but it comes at a cost of brand reputation, your employee and your talent, sort of retention, and a whole lot of other factors builders don't tend to take into account. Don't you think? We've seen that.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting one too, because if you're coming out and having these explicit statements where you say, yes, we're committed to quality and we produce quality, and maybe quality is a core value as an organization, and then the second it comes down to, do we fix it? Or do we just keep going and ignoring it because we've got a budget to hit, we've got a schedule to hit? And so the message that's very clearly sent out to the employees is, well, quality actually doesn't matter. Quality works, and it matters if it's convenient and it's easy and it's, but when it comes to actually holding ourselves accountable for following through on that, and I can't tell you the number of clients that, have told me where, they'll point something out really early on in a project that's not going to work from a quality perspective, and then it takes weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks for a decision to get made, and by then, like, you're up another, half dozen floors, and the quality mistake gets repeated over and over again, and so the cost to fix it grows, and the potential for delays, and then it pushes out the decision making. And I think I get the struggle, like, I really do. It's like, on the one hand, budget, schedule, we've got
cost
to
of
hit
financing,
but
extend the schedules, a lot of money,
right? So it's like, and so how do you get in there, and how do you really help the leaders and the employees to be able to make quick decisions? But more importantly, how do we think about quality in a more proactive way, so that we're building out and we're planning out and we're governing out as many of the quality risks as we possibly can, so that we're not dealing with them after the fact, where it is much more difficult to say, okay, well, this is going to cause a 1 month delay for us to fix this, or do we just leave it and hope that our customers don't notice?
Heather, I think, you really hit on something there, and we've talked about this, the proactive approach. I mean, generally you see the early warning signs well in advance. And, if I were to talk, you and I were sharing the 1-10-100 rule, where the easiest, $1 to fix something is in the design phase. It gets more expensive as you progress. If you want to try and fix it mid-construction, that's the $10. And, once it's built, $100. And I'd even say post-occupancy, it has a burn of like $1,000. But it's the proactive approach combined with a consistent discipline to stick with that, the approach to quality, the quality management system you're putting in with KPIs, with checks and balances, to ensure that you're keeping to the schedule. Because the schedule is the root of generally most of the challenges you might have in terms of the ability to deliver quality.
Yeah, and we can appreciate that. And I know with some of our clients that we've worked with, we've really worked hard on better scheduling protocols. So yep. Again, so to really consider, how long does something actually take? Not how long do we want it to take, but how long does it actually take to do a quality job on it? But it also, some of the things that we've done, Danielle, in the work that we've done with our clients around what are some of those really sort of early stage activities that we do in a really disciplined way that minimize the potential impact from a schedule perspective, from a budget perspective, so that we're catching it early, that we're catching it quickly, that we've got the right eyes who are trained to know what they're looking for, to actually looking for it at the right stage. We think it even as something like concrete, where it's like there's steps that we can take in the forming stage, and the after the concrete pour, and that we're checking it consistently. But again, a lot of the times, because we get it, the teams are busy, things are moving so quickly that it's sort of like, okay, well maybe we won't check, or maybe we won't look for that, but then the cost becomes quite significant again as it's repeated out across multiple floors and multiple homes. So if you're interested in learning more, if you are a member of residential construction industry, a builder or a developer, and you want to learn more about how to really make quality management work in your organization while protecting your schedule and your budget and delivering on that customer promise, reach out to either Danielle or myself, or check out more information on our guide to the top 5 myths of quality management within the residential construction industry. Thank you so much for joining us today. Danielle, great to talk to you.
Thanks, Heather.